All right, everyone, let's just settle. I'm going to skip a little bit through beginning settling. So just settle down as best you can. Shoulders align with the hips. Ears align with the shoulders. And imagine your spine is this really beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up to the crown of the head. And then just see if you can just relax the body, notice any sensations, just allow some softening. Take a nice deep breath. Just keep some awareness of the sounds in your environment, just allowing them to be there. Notice what's been arising in your mind today. And try and take a step back, looking objectively, and maybe and then just bring to mind all the people of your life and think of your loved ones, the ones you don't like so much and your strangers, and just know that these relationships are interchangeable and that they're all equal, all these people, the same as you and me, and they wish to be happy, they wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for an enlightened mind. So we think we're going to do this practice for all these people, Marion's friend, Amy's friend, Virginia, and for all the people who've just been diagnosed with something that's totally changed the course of their life. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And we know this purification process is psychological. So we create negativity with our mind. Excuse me. So we can change that equally by creating positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we ourselves will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can we do about it? Whom can we turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha Vajrasattva, who has the methods that we can use to purify. So we just imagine we're taking refuge in Bodhisattva, the Vajrasattva, as a doctor. So we're not needing Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're just purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And so we have another little section on compassion, developing compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and we have compassion for them because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And just imagine it keeps pouring into you, and then just, forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about other people behind their backs and getting then more people to agree with you about your views. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Saka A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Excuse me. Again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And next is a purification of our mind. And imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. This arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So just imagine, same as when you walk into a room, it's dark, and you just flick on the switch, and then instantly the light comes. So you imagine the same here. The light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and just like flicking on a switch, the light comes and dispels all the negativity, the darkness of the negativity of the mind. So all our attachment and neediness and anger and depression, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, grudges, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all our delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. They're gone. And now imagine no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from our consciousness. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. So without this determination, we're just going to keep doing the same old stuff over and over again. We have all these sort of habit energies, as one of my Tai Chi teachers called it. And we just kind of get into these grooves, habitual ways of thinking, habitual ways of doing things that might not necessarily serve us or others. So the whole point of this section is we make a determination that we want to do things differently in a way that's non-harmful, that won't harm, and that might even be a benefit. And then the next step, I would say, is to rejoice in your efforts. And then think about something you'd like to work on over the weekend. And I know there's not everyone's here, but I know there are a number of people in this room who've got family things going on, some issues in the family. And as I was saying, I think it was either last night or this morning, just best keep the mouth shut. I think it was last night. So maybe that's what you have to work on over the weekend, is to refrain from saying things that might make the situation worse. So this weekend is the Labor Day weekend, which is often a time, an opportunity for everyone to get together. And, you know, when alcohol gets involved, sometimes things get said that are regrettable. Or maybe it's a time for you to shop when perhaps you don't, maybe shouldn't. So just, you know, think about it, you know, rather than buying 10 pairs of things on sale, 10 sets of something on sale, maybe just buy 5. So, you know, keep your aspirations humble and simple. So this determination to kind of refrain from doing or just kind of doing less of is what gives us the strength to change. And imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on emptiness. So imagine in emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So I've got here another 3 verses from the chanting the names of Manjushri. Arising from great vital force, unborn beyond expression, based on words or speech, the foremost cause of every form of speech, the shining forth of every kind of language, great feast who takes the form of great passion, producing bliss in every sentient being, great feast who takes the form of great anger, great enemy of every mental poison, great feast who is by nature great delusion, delusion's vanquisher for deluded minds, great feast who is in essence great fury, great adversary to all furiousness. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Drive safe if you're going somewhere. Lots of success at the market if that's what you're doing, Coral. And everybody else, whatever you're doing, stay safe. Lots of love. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday. Okay. Thank you for hosting,
Thank you,
Michael.
Van